Hey everyone, so today I'm just going to be taking a look at the Transformers Kingdom Buzzworthy Bumblebee Blackarachnia. So this figure came in a 4-pack with Fangry, Nemesis Primal, and also a Bumblebee remold slash repaint. So overall, I think this figure is okay. We will get into the details in just a second. So this is just a direct repaint of the original Blackarachnia mold that came in Kingdom Wave 1. Just a brand new head sculpt, but of course, overall just brand new, paint apps, and that's pretty much it. So there is some flaws here and there. It is overall an okay figure. Let's get into that right now. We have Blackarachnia with Blackarachnia. So of course, this is from Kingdom Wave 1, and this is of course the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Kingdom Blackarachnia. Before we do a comparison, I do want to quickly take a look at the details, and then of course we will get into the comparison. So here is the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Blackarachnia. I think overall it does look quite nice. We have some nice golden or sort of brown for the legs, nice texturing on them. Very, very skinny and scrawny, very creepy spider legs. We do have a nice mixture of like almost white and black and blue for this back section. It's a really interesting color, honestly hard to describe. We have some nice purple there, looks pretty darn good. We do have some more of that blue black mixture for the head and some green for the eyes. We do have also have some silver for the big fangs there on the face. Very, very scary, creepy face. Looks pretty good. And overall, a very, very cool looking spider. I think it does stand quite nicely. I've always had problems with the Kingdom version standing. Of course, they are a very skinny, scrawny leg, so sometimes if you do put in too much pressure, they will just collapse, and it will just fall. So you do have to be a little bit careful, but I do think this one does stand quite a bit easier than this one, so that is good. But as you can see, they're quite similar. In mold, just really deco. That's the only thing that's different between these spiders, really just paint apps. That's pretty much it. So they do both come with, of course, the exact same weapon, which I can take out right now. So this one came with the Kingdom Wave 1, and this one came with the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Blackarachnia. So they are very similar, exact same sculpt, just new paint apps. I think I like this one more, which is a pretty cool weapon. Unfortunately, both of these do have the same problem. They do not store how they should. So I would really like to show you, how they store. I can, but I won't actually be able to connect it because it does not stay at all. So how it's supposed to be storing is that there is 2 slots right there, and there is 2 tabs on the weapon, and it's supposed to store like this, but I've tried, 100 times. It does not work really at all, which is very unfortunate. I've tried so many times, it just does not work, which is very unfortunate. There is 2 ports here. If you wanted to just get the peg from the gun, you could just peg it on like that. If you wanted to, it does kind of just stick out, but it is an option if you want to do that. So that is unfortunate. And for the Kingdom version, it does kind of do the same. It does actually connect, but I left it disconnected because I did not want it to fall off during the review, and cause a bunch of problems. So I did just leave it off. It is better than this one, but still, I think both of them could have a tighter connection for that weapon, or just better storage for it in general. So that is a shame. Both of them do carry the same problem, but overall, 2 very cool spiders. I do like the Blackarachnia original one more, in my personal opinion. Tighter joints, a better weapon storage connection, in my opinion. So that's a pretty cool comparison. So that's pretty much it for that comparison. Let's get into the articulation, and then we'll get into transformation. So articulation, it's not really that much. For all the legs, they all have a ball joint at this section right here. So there's a ball joint on every single one of them. They can all do a typical ball joint articulation. There is also a hinge, but I would highly suggest to make sure you have a good grasp on it, and so things won't just fall apart. So there is a hinge here, so you can hinge it in and out, so that is pretty good. And that's really it for articulation. There's no articulation in the head of the spider, which is unfortunate. A lot of the spider is really just kind of stuck in one place, which, it's understandable. It is hard to transform it from a robot to a spider. That is probably a very hard task for Hasbro. So for, it being a spider, I think it's pretty good. So let's get into transformation. So first up, I will apologize ahead of time if you can't see it very well. well. It is not, I would say, the cleanest, smoothest transformation in my personal opinion. I will lower the camera a tad bit, and I will try to go a little bit slower. I do think for my first review for Kingdom Blackarachnia, it was not very good. I went too fast, and it didn't seem very clear, so I will try to make up for that review with this one. So you're going to disconnect it from the section here. As you can see, these are the hands, and they just fit into these little sections right there. And then you can disconnect the claws or hands, so that's pretty cool. And then you can just kind of move them off to the side. And now what you're going to want to do is go here. You can bring these little spike sections forward right here. And then you can just bring this whole leg section back and around. You're going to want to rotate it at this joint here, just like that. So as you can see, it used to be like that, and you're just going to want to rotate it back like that. So let's do the same thing on the other side. Just extend it, rotate it around, and bring it out, just like that. And you can extend the legs, and you can bring the feet down to your desire, just like that. You can readjust kind of all that stuff like that. So there we go. You can bring the arms out to their position. And now we can bring this whole section out. You can bring this chest section down. And now what you're going to want to do is, there is this little pin here. You're going to want to push it out so you can rotate the arms all the way around. And then you're going to want to push it back in just like that. So there we go. Make sure there is room so the head can go all the way through that cavity right there. So just push that through. Sometimes it can get a little bit stuck. So just like that, bring that all the way through, push it back, there we go. And then you will just get the spider face, and that will just go right into the crotch section right there. So just push it in, and that will just collapse right into place. You can bring this chest piece down, and then this back section will just collapse like that. And then let's just straighten everything up. It's a little messy, of course. For the spider legs, you can really just kind of do what you want with them. Just have them kind of dangling out if you want to. Make sure the claws are faced the right way. Put the head however you wish. I kind of like to have them facing back. It does take up less room, especially on the display shelf you have it on, but most of the time with Blackarachnia, they are facing forward, and they are like machine guns in the show. So if you want to do more of a classic look, they do face forward, but for more practicality and using less space on the shelf, it does make sense to have them facing back. But overall, quite simple transformation. Hopefully you could understand it and see it better. It is, I wouldn't say the cleanest transformation in my personal opinion. I think it could be a little bit better, but it does the job done pretty good in my opinion to get to the robot mode. And I think overall the robot mode does look pretty good. So let's take a look at the details. So again, nice texturing on the spider legs. Of course, you can have them facing forward or back. I will show them facing forward in just a second. The head sculpt, it's a brand new head sculpt, which looks pretty good. Nice dark purple, white for the eyes, and a really cool mouth guard that looks really, really cool. Very nice. Some leopard pattern on the chest, some nice green on the shoulders, some more kind of a tiger pattern on the claws, some nice black stripes there, looks pretty good. Some more green at these hinges there. For the chest, we do have that nice black-blue mixture. We do have a nice Predacon symbol right there, and some green for those little dots. We do have some dark purple for the hips, some more of that black-blue mixture for the top of the legs. For the knees, we have some more green, which you can have them sticking out, these little spikes, if you want to have more dynamic, poses, or you can have them flat. I typically do compress them. For the rest, we have that tiger pattern again, some stripes, some orange, and we do have some nice dark purple for the feet. So overall, pretty good details for this figure. Of course, it does come with a harpoon weapon, so you can have her hold this, which is really the only storage, I think, that is for this figure. Maybe you could find some other way, you could find some way to store it, but as I know of, this is really the only way. And I think it's a pretty cool looking weapon. I like it a little bit more. It seems, the details are a little bit more defined rather than this one. A lot of the colors are similar, really just kind of a, a light brown and orange. Seems kind of, mixed together too much. So definitely a really cool harpoon weapon there. It would be actually kind of cool if they maybe included with this and actually like harpoon that could eject from it. Yes, that would be kind of a hard to do weapon, but that would be kind of cool because in the show, if you watched it, she actually did eject the harpoon to get across, big open, caverns and stuff like that. So that'd be pretty cool. So overall, pretty good figure. The backpack is compressed quite well. I know people do not like how there's big backpacks on figures. I think she's quite of a slim figure, which is good. So overall, pretty cool figure. Let's get into a comparison. Again, here we have Blackarachnia with Blackarachnia. So overall, these two figures are very, very similar, really just down to paint apps, and of course, a brand new head sculpt. I think I do like this head sculpt a little bit more. Of course, this is more the classic look of Blackarachnia to the show. Both pretty good figures. I do think overall the original Blackarachnia is better with overall joint tightness, posability really just is better, and weapon storage, again, it does store better in the spider mode, but again, does have a problem. I think the joints are a little bit too loose on this figure right here. Sometimes it can be a pain to stand in the robot mode, which is funny. This one doesn't have any problems at all, but two pretty good figures. Of course, this is, again, out of a 4-pack, so it's a 3 out of the 4 figures of the World's Collide pack are pretty good. This one is, I would say, the worst one, but not, I would say, a throwaway figure. So two pretty cool figures. Very similar, really just down to the head sculpt, as you can see, and again, brand new paint apps. So very, very cool. Again, same accessories. As you can see, you can bring the spider legs forward, like Blackarachnia typically had them in the show, and you can attach some blaster pieces to them, like she used them in the show, like machine guns, which was pretty cool. So a lot of very cool playability options with this figure. So very, very nice. Let's get into articulation. So I'm just going to move the Kingdom Blackarachnia off to the side. I'm just going to take the weapon out of her hand so it doesn't fall out or get in the way. Let's start at the top. So for the head, it's very, very tight, so I do apologize if it takes a little bit of time. You can rotate the head all the way around. You can hinge it down and up, so pretty good articulation. For the legs, again, all ball joints, and there is this hinge here that can hinge forward and back. There is a swivel for the arm. The shoulder can rotate all the way around, can go out and in. There is, again, an elbow bend forward and back, so pretty good. So our same articulation for the other side. There is no waist rotation for the legs. It can do with the full splits. It can kick forward, and it can kick back to a very good degree. There is a swivel all the way around. There is a knee bend. Sometimes it does get blocked because there is this piece right there, so unfortunately it does get a little bit blocked. There is an ankle tilt to a very good degree. So overall, pretty good articulation for this figure. Again, I do wish the joints were a little bit tighter, and again, unfortunately, this piece does limit the articulation a bit for the legs, but overall, pretty good articulation for a deluxe size figure. Overall, pretty good articulation, and let's get into the final thoughts. The final thoughts for this figure, starting in the spider mode. I think overall the deco is pretty cool. Nice mixture of black and blue for the back section and for the head section. Nice bright green for the eyes. Really cool silver for the big teeth or fangs. Really nice bronze or kind of a brown color for the very creepy insect spider legs. Pretty good articulation for the spider mode as well. Not a ton, but nice ball joints for all the legs. And there is a nice hinge for the main section of the legs, which is pretty cool. You can have them in really cool dynamic poses. Unfortunately, the weapon storage is not the greatest. You really just put it on the bottom of the spider, so you really can't see it at all. But yeah, that is kind of a shame. And it does not, of course, stay connected really at all. I really wanted to show you, it's staying on there, but I tried it several times and it just kept falling off, so I really didn't want that to happen in the middle of this review, it just popping off randomly, and interrupting the review. So I just decided to just not even try, which is a shame. But overall, pretty good spider mode, good articulation, good deco. For the accessory, I think it's probably my favorite between the two weapons. Nice black for the big harpoon and silver at the edge, and some black, dark purple at the beginning of it, so pretty cool. For transformation-wise, I think it's okay. It's not the smoothest and kind of hard to show on camera, but I do understand it is very hard to get, a robot and transform it into a spider. I do understand it is hard, so I do not blame Hasbro at all for not being the smoothest transformation. For the robot mode, I think overall is a pretty good robot mode. Brand new head sculpts, nice texturing, all of it. Lots of interesting patterns, like on the chest, a very interesting leopard pattern. There's kind of a tiger pattern on the arms and legs, a stripe of black and some orange for the main color. We have some dark purple for the feet, which is quite nice. Again, for some of the legs, we do have that really nice black and blue mixture, so that's pretty cool. And of course, you can very nice playability options with the spider legs. You can have them facing forward or back, which is quite nice. So overall, a pretty good figure. I do think Blackarachnia from Kingdom Wave 1 is better. There's tighter joints. The weapon does stay connected better in the spider mode. But again, I don't think this is a throwaway figure. I do recommend this pack. Yes, the other three figures on this pack, Nemesis Primal, Fangery, and Bumblebee, are better. But again, I do think it's a pretty cool figure, of course, since if you have both, you could have this one in the spider mode, and you could have the other one in the robot, or vice versa. So let me know what you think of this figure in the comment section below. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I think that's it. So I'll see you next time.